I talked about the stuff from my life that hits everyone in funny or sad ways. Before she died, Mary Tyler Moore picked the 5 actors she couldn't stand the most. Mary Tyler Moore came into the world on December 29, 1936 in Brooklyn, New York. She grew up in a regular middle-class family whose world was about to flip upside down. When she was only 8, her mom and dad grabbed their things and headed to Los Angeles, a move that would sneakily decide her whole future. That change put her right next to Hollywood way before she realized how much she'd change it. As a kid, Mary was soft, shy, and secretly creative. She wasn't the one yelling in a group, but she was always the one paying attention, learning, taking it all in. Dance turned into her way out. Ballet really lit a fire in her. It was her rules, her wish, her way in. Even if she didn't talk a lot, her dancing said it all. And pretty soon, people started paying attention. Her first bit of being famous didn't happen on a movie or funny show, but in some fun, odd TV ads. She showed up as this fun dancing elf called Happy Hot Point, selling 1950s home stuff with a cuteness that stuck with folks right away. It was a tiny start, but it showed something clear. Mary was made for TV. Things flipped in 1961. That's when she got the part that turned her from an ad girl into a big American star. Laura Petrie, the fun, cool, smart wife of Dick Van Dyke on The Dick Van Dyke Show. It ran from 1961 to 1966, and the show did way more than make people laugh. It let everyone see Mary's special mix of funny gut feelings, warm heart, and easy way of showing stuff. Her Laura Petrie wasn't some basic TV wife. She was fresh, on her own, hilarious, clever, and above all, like a real person. Back when TV ladies were stuck in boring, same-old parts, Mary smashed that with every word, every glance, every bit. It was the acting that made her a legend. But as she got more famous and touched more lives, a way juicier tale grew too, one she mostly kept quiet about. Because before her story wrapped up, Mary Tyler Moore spilled about the 5 actors she really hated, and why she hid that list for so long. Unlike lots of TV wives from the early 1960s, Moore's role was different. On her own, funny, clever, and not scared to argue with her husband's thoughts. Even picking capri pants for the show, which seems like a little style thing, quietly pushed against what people thought American ladies should be like back then. With Van Dyke, their spark felt natural, cozy, and true, pulling viewers into a marriage that was new and super sweet. Her acting got her 2 Emmy Awards and shot her up as one of TV's most lively and loved stars. When the Dick Van Dyke Show wrapped, lots of folks thought Moore had hit her peak, but she was just warming up. In 1970, she came back in a part that broke old funny show rules. Mary Richards on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. As a single-driven producer at a news spot in Minneapolis, Mary Richards showed a fresh time for ladies on TV. Focused, handling her own stuff, and set on making her life how she wanted instead of jumping into marriage. The show opened new paths with its sweet blend of laughs and real talk, hitting on stuff like women's rights, respect at work, and starting over. It wasn't only fun, it was a big change happening right on TV. That famous start, with Moore happily throwing her hat up in the Minneapolis air, was more than a show thing. It became a strong sign of women being free and hopeful. The show didn't just lock in her spot in fun history. It fired up tons of women over the years to go after what they want without holding back. Moore's smarts on the series got her 4 more Emmy Awards, and the show stays a big deal in TV laughs. Loved for its cleverness, feeling, and forward thinking, Mary Tyler Moore's touch went way past TV. In 1980, she surprised everyone with a serious role in Ordinary People, playing a far-off, tricky mom with feelings, acting that got her an Oscar nod and showed a side lots hadn't seen from the funny fave. Her movie stuff also had Thoroughly Modern Millie in 1967 and Change of Habit in 1969, where she acted with Elvis Presley, showing even more how she could switch it up. On Broadway, Moore grabbed crowds in Whose Life Is It Anyway and The Gin Game, showing a special skill to mix laughs, sadness, and openness into parts that hit deep with people. Away from the stage, Moore gave her time to things she cared about. She got type 1 diabetes in her early 30s, so she turned into a big fighter for it, spreading word and pushing studies through years, leading the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. She also fought for animal rights, using her star power to really change things outside of shows. Mary Tyler Moore's bravery in talking about her tough times brought light and knowing to long-term sickness, making millions feel not so alone in their fights. On top of health stuff, she fought for animal rights, talking strong against mean treatment and giving her say to kind causes. Her giving and caring went way past the fame, building a forever mark of niceness, understanding, and doing good that got tons of fans and other stars fired up. Her own life was just as full and telling, matching how her job changed and how she grew as a lady. Moore got married 3 times, with each one changing her feelings, affecting her work choices, and quietly shifting how folks saw her off the screen. Her first marriage to Richard Gere in 1955 happened when she was just 18, a young gal about to chase Hollywood wishes. Gere, way older and in a job not in shows, gave the steady life Mary wanted in her wobbly start in Los Angeles. They had their son, Richard Gere Jr., in 1956, and Mary often thought Bay, heck on the mix of happy and hard in being a mom so young. But as her job started climbing, first with TV ads and early spots, then her big break as Laura Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show, the mix of star life, drive, and mom duties made problems that pushed the marriage. The crash of wanting her own success and family stuff kicked off a path that shaped her feelings and her awesome job road. The pair's marriage ended for good in 1962, but they split nicely, keeping a good link. Life threw Mary a huge sad thing later when her son Richard passed in 1980 from a gun accident at only 24. A hurt that stuck deep in her heart and made her even kinder to folks dealing with loss. That year, she wrapped her split from Richard Gere and quick found love with Grant Tinker, a smart TV boss whose ideas would really change her job. They got married in 1962. Their tie was as much about making stuff as about romance. Tinker liked Mary's smarts and art skills, and they started MTM Enterprises together, the big maker behind the Mary Tyler Moore Show, a fresh, funny show that changed TV for new folks. The show's huge win made Moore a women's rights star, showing freedom, sureness, and doing her own thing. With Tinker's good business sense matching Moore's creative side, they turned into one of Hollywood's most looked-up-to strong pairs in the 1970s. But behind the shiny, happy look, their marriage had growing stress from star pressure, nonstop jobs, and Mary's fights with drinking and diabetes. By 1981, their marriage wrapped up, but they kept respect and liking later on. Tinker went on to head NBC, while Mary kept growing her art skills, taking serious parts that showed her realness and got big praise. After giving time to her health, getting better, and changing job, Mary found love again with a doctor. Mary Tyler Moore's last love story started with Robert Levine, a heart doc 16 years young. They met in 1982 when Levine helped Mary's mom, but their link fast turned into a deep and caring bond based on looking out for each other, respect, and getting it. They tied the knot in 1983, and this third one became her longest and steadiest. Levine's doc skills helped a ton with Mary's long fight against type 1 diabetes, and he was not just her hubby, but her solid helper and go-to buddy. Together, they made a calm life far from Hollywood lights, hanging between New York and Connecticut. Unlike her first ones, Mary's tie with Levine was all about steady feelings, shared understanding, and strong sticking together. Their bond went on until she died in 2017. Proof of the lasting love and sticking by that kept her going in her last years. Through her awesome job, Mary Tyler Moore turned into one of America's fave TV stars, loved for her class, smarts, and path-making acting. From her start on the Dick Van Dyke Show to the game-changing Mary Tyler Moore Show, she showed warmth, pro ways, and easy to relate to that grabbed hearts all over the country. But off camera, Hollywood wasn't always as nice or easy as it looked. In her later days, Moore talked straight about what she really thought of some work folks, picking 5 actors she had real tough times with. From what Glenn Corbett said, a close pal and secret keeper in her end days, Mary's straight talk didn't hold back, showing a view of the biz that not many got to see. Mary Tyler Moore never acted like every work buddy was fun or easy. Her open thoughts gave a rare peek into the hidden annoyances of a lady otherwise known for her calm and niceness. Right at the top was Rosemary, her co-star on the Dick Van Dyke Show. While watchers loved their on-screen vibe, the real backstage was way more edgy. Rosemary, an old pro known for her quick, funny, and hot temper, kept bumping heads with Moore over spotlight and props. Being younger and kinda new to TV, Moore often felt pushed aside, like Rosemary thought she was crashing the party. Glenn Corbett remembered Ari saying Rosemary always pointed out who was in the biz longer. Even with keeping it pro, Moore said the first seasons had this rival buzzy feel. Though things calmed a bit over time, a quiet cold stayed in their work tie. The next one Moore called out was James Garner, who she worked with short on a TV thing that never happened. Garner, liked a lot for his easy charm and tough look, came off to Moore as brushing her off and tough to link with. She gave him props for skills, but his downer view bugged her. Corbett said Moore didn't like Garner's habit of mean, funny jabs at the biz and folks in it. For Moore, who took her work serious and with respect, Garner's light attitude felt almost rude, making a quiet but ongoing rub between them. Mary Tyler Moore's tough work buddies didn't end with Rosemary and James Garner. Their basic style diffs left big marks. Moore was careful, all about perfect, and into details, while Garner did great with off the cuff and chill. The bump of these ways made a quiet stress that stuck around after their quick work ended. Another hard one in her job was Ted Knight, her co-star on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Though loved for his goofy but sweet take on Ted Baxter, Knight could get grumpy and touchy off set. Mary once told me that Ted could be incredibly moody, Corbett recalled.